But I.
All right, y'all. So today is May 4th, 2020, and it is 73 degrees outside in New Jersey. And whereas most Mays on a day like today, people will be outside having a blast, spending time with their families, going on picnics, maybe even going to the beach. We're all currently trapped inside our houses. So, assuming you haven't been living under a rock, the whole world has been taken over by this Rhoda, aka coronavirus, aka COVID-19. It's a lot. Yeah, so I mean, I know it's rough for a lot of people right now. You know, a lot of people can't work or like they can't go to school. You know, people's livelihoods are like literally being put on stop. So it could be rough, and I can only imagine what it's like for some people who are living in like abusive households or like abusive marriages, and they're forced to now like have to deal with these people that they live with. Like, come on, I get it, but I mean, the most we can try and do in anything, just throughout life, you try to find peace in the madness, and you try to spread positivity, even if there isn't a lot of it out there. You know, you just try to make the best out of the situation you're in. And as my mom always told me, out of every curse, you can find a blessing. I would encourage people in times like this to try and pick up something new. You know, maybe it's a habit, maybe it's a talent or something that you always wanted to do. You know, as someone told me, you know, this is a really good time to like really dig down into things that you're passionate about. So I'm like, yo, let me start this YouTube channel. By the way, guys, my name is Rob. My channel's name is Tush. That was the nickname that I grew up with my family calling me. So they call me Rob, they call me Tush, they call me all kinds of stuff. I mean, it really comes down to the relationship I have with you. I mean, but if you don't know me like that, you need to chill. It's Rob for you. But I mean, that's why we're here, right? We're here to get to know each other. So, first thing about me is that besides God, I love movies, I love music, and I love fashion. So, here we go. And y'all, I apologize in advance. I'm looking a little scruffy right now, but I mean, like, with this quarantine, what is the point? Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not going to work, you're not going, you know, like, what's the point of shaving it off? Like, you might as well just chill. You're not going nowhere. You're not going to the club. You're not going to see the shorty. I mean, then again, if it's your girl, I get it. But not even if it's your girl, let's be real. You don't even care even more because y'all probably already like each other for how you look, anyways. So why does it matter? But I mean, it's chilling. But by the time this is done, I'm probably gonna shave it off. But and to my fellas to my brothers with the dewies, what are y'all doing? Y'all wearing y'all dewies habitually, and you not even going nowhere. You wearing your do rag to the kitchen to get juice out the fridge. Either way, y'all, with this quarantine, the best advice I would try to give y'all is to, you know, pick something up or at least try to entertain yourself. Read a book, listen to music, or watch a movie. And that's what we gonna focus on today. Watching a movie. I made a list of the best TV shows and movies that I would suggest that y'all can watch, keep busy through all of this. I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna make two videos instead of one. I'll just split them up because if I make two videos, we'll probably be here all day. So let's focus on the movies in this one. First movie, Django Unchained. Unchained came out in 2012. Was written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino, if you don't know, who also made Pulp Fiction, Hateful Eight. I should know these off the top of my head. Inglourious Bastards, also one of my favorite movies. And the story of Django is basically just him teaming up with Christoph Waltz. Django, played by Jamie Foxx, is a slave, and Christoph is like this bounty hunter who saves Django at the beginning of the movie. And the movie is them on a journey to rescue Jamie Foxx's wife, who's played by Kerry Washington, from her plantation owner, who is played by Leonardo DiCaprio. And the movie is just like, it's amazing. I love Quentin's storytelling, and to be honest, this is one of my favorite movies from him because he tells it in chronological order. And if you know Quentin Tarantino, you know that he likes to just tell his movies all over the place, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I also liked, but it was just at some point I was like, come on, bro, But I love the way how he told his story from beginning to end. Call me basic, but like star-studded cast. There's a couple parts in there that I knew were off script, but they all still killed it. Like that part where Leonardo like slams his hand down and his hand starts bleeding. Watch that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They didn't. That was completely unscripted. But it's just an amazing movie, amazing acting, and it shows you, like, let's be real, we needed that energy to show what a black man can do when you give him some power. Especially back then, he was unstoppable, and love it. Check it out. Django is on Netflix. I don't know if it's anything else, but I know it's on Netflix, and there's a few other Tarantino films that's on there too. I just saw them go on. Yeah, there's Django. There's I don't know if Inglourious Basterds is still on there, but I just saw this morning that Hateful Eight was on there, so you can check that out as well. Also, I made this list specifically on movies that are on streaming platforms at the moment. I love a bunch of movies, but these aren't gonna be just like my favorite movies of all time. These are just a couple of movies, not even my favorite movies on these platforms, but at least just like a collection of movies that you can find on basically any streaming service that's available right now. Yeah, I know ways to watch movies for free. However, when you do that, you kind of cheat the artists and the people who put the effort into making these films and these projects. You kind of steal away from them, and I realize that's messed up the older I got. So I don't really mind the Netflix and I don't mind the subscriptions. I mean, over time, a lot of them kind of it stacks up over time. But I mean, with moderation, anything's okay. So that was my goal here to focus the list on specific platforms that are on right now that you could just hop on and watch it, instead of having to break your back to go to get on these websites that be popping up all these stuff like local hot moms. I had to stop because, especially with family, oh nah, you wildin'. Also, these movies aren't really in any particular order. I mean, it's just like of my fave movies that I'm feeling right now on these platforms. I really just didn't feel like ordering them. But hey, you could watch them in that order if you want. I don't know. Casino Royale, also one of my fave James Bond movies, was written and directed by Martin Campbell, and it came out in 2006. I guess the thing about the plot is, if we're being honest, I mean, no James Bond plot is really that deep. It's really the same recipe that they use over and over. Like, he has a nice car, he has nice weapons, he gets a nice girl at some point throughout the movie. Either it's his coworker or it's some I mean, he also just be sleeping with anybody. But I mean, this was like the first James Bond in a couple of years, and it really like skyrocketed this new franchise. I guess the thing about the plot of this movie is, like, I can sit here and break it down, but if we're being honest, how deep is a James Bond movie really anyways? I mean, it usually starts with James Bond knowing he's James Bond, and then he's given a mission, and in the mission, he falls in love with some girl. I mean, like, you are a whole world-class assassin, but he be mad vulnerable, like, with mad, I mean, whatever. But he gets a girl, they fall in love, I don't know, someone betrays him at some point, and he overtakes. I mean, again, I could hash it out, but the plot is never it's never that complex, but depending on who's directing it and the style and how the movie's told and the story's told will have you on the edge of your seat, and that's exactly what this movie does, and I love that for it. Simple, but it does the job. It's crazy because I want to say I was in like 5th grade when it came out, but I still loved it then, and I would just watch it. Like, it's crazy. When I was younger, there was a bunch of movies that I would just watch over and over again, and I guess I just liked them. But as I got older, I was like, man, I had some good taste because I was watching this movie like 10 times a week. I don't know, but I think it's on Amazon. I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon or Netflix. It's on one of them though, so just check. Now, Akira came out in 1998. It was written and directed by Koshiro, but an Asian director who did his thing. Alright, so it reads: a secret military project endangers a Neo Tokyo when it turns a biker gang member into a rampaging psychic psychopath who can only be stopped by 2 teenagers and a group of psychics. That don't even make sense reading it. No, I just knew it was a good movie after I watched it, and it's kind of like a cult classic. But you should definitely check it out. Disclosure: this is from my anime people who love their anime. It's like an anime classic, so I've been told. It's a subtitles version, and there's also a dub version where they just spoke over it. But check it out. It's on Hulu. Hereditary. Let me tell you something about this movie, Hereditary. So, Hereditary was directed by Ari Aster. Ari Aster, who's also the director of Midsummer. Have you seen Midsummer? That's all I need to say to you. Hereditary, which came out in 2018. A family that goes through a couple of tragedies throughout the movie. And you basically just watch the family lose its freaking mind throughout the course of the movie. Specifically, the mom. You watch her lose her damn mind throughout the movie. However, as the movie progresses, you realize that there were more sinister things at play that was affecting the family and that were causing some of these tragedies that was happening. I won't spoil it. I'm sorry, y'all. My throat. I don't know. I got some in my throat. Nah, but as you watch the movie, you see there's things going on that the family is not picking up on, but that's all I can say. But this movie is crazy. See, this is my issue with you, Ari. This is my issue with you, Ari Aster. What's the point of telling these movies the way you telling them? I mean, like, I know, being weird is cool now and niche storytelling. I get it, But some of these movies, like Hereditary, bro, like, where do you go? Where does your head space go when you, like, write these movies and you be directing them? Like, where do you be taking yourself? Like, you just be like, hey, I'm gonna just live in this shed for 6 months to prepare my spirit. Like, what do you mean? I want to know. I'm curious. I'm really curious. It's a good movie, but it's crazy. I tell you, just expect sleep with a nightlight. That's all I'm saying. You might want to sleep with a nightlight. It's a horror, by the way. You might want to watch it with company. So, Hereditary is currently on Amazon Prime. And I mean, if it means anything, it's also brought to you by the same studio, which is A24, which is also created movies like Waves, Uncut Gems, Good Time with Robert Pattinson, and another movie on my list, which brings me to my next point, Ex Machina. Ex Machina came out 2000. Machina, I don't know. Came out 2014 and was directed by Alex Garland, who's the same director of Annihilation with Natalie Portman. I can't talk today. Yeah, so it's basically about this young programmer who is like, he's selected to participate in some groundbreaking experiment with synthetic intelligence by evaluating human qualities of a higher advanced humanoid AI. He's basically selected as a part of like this test, and he's like sent away to the site where they're testing like these AIs with Oscar Isaac, who's the genius, like Steve Jobs, the Mark Zuckerberg inventor, training the young programmer in his world of creation as he's experimenting with these AIs. But anyone who knows anything about AIs know how that go, how they eventually gain consciousness. But that's all I'll say. Ex Machina, they actually just put it on Netflix, so check it out. And for my last two movies, one of them has to be La La Land. I love that movie, man. I have no idea. It's like I'm a 16-year-old teenage girl. I don't know what it is because it's a musical, and I usually don't like musicals, but I love that movie, man. Maybe it's the director, Damien Chazelle, who's the same director of Whiplash, which is actually probably in my top 5. Whiplash is amazing, but this movie is equally just as good. It's basically about these two basically young and hungry like artists and creatives. One is Ryan Gosling and the other is Emma Stone, who are trying to make it in Hollywood. And both of them are trying to go for their dreams, and they have like such a strong connection, and they fall in love. But the reality of life is that, there's no real, there's not always gonna be, I guess, a happy story. The two fell in love, but their dreams were pulling them in different directions. But the movie is really them just like trying to stay together. But either way, man, this movie, I don't know why it speaks to my heart a lot, because I'm a young creative trying to make it out here too. But it just really shows you how life works. And guys, like, even if you don't like musicals, man, this movie is not just a music, and it may be a musical, but it's deeper than that. So that's some nice vibes. John Legend is in there. It's just a good time, man, and it speaks to you, or at least it speaks to me. So just go check it out, man. La La Land is on Amazon Prime, and I think it's on something else too. It was on Netflix, but I don't think anymore. But it's on Amazon Prime, man. I love that movie. And my last and final movie is Parasite. Parasite came out last year in 2019 and was directed by Bong Joon-ho. I'm pretty sure I said that correct. Bong Joon-ho is also the director of Okja, which I watched the other day ago, which is pretty good. I didn't like it as much as I feel like I wanted to, but it was still a solid movie. And he's also the director of Snowpiercer, which is amazing, with Chris Evans. Alright, so the thing about Parasite, and I'll say a little bit, but I won't say too much. But so Parasite, there's the Park family. And I guess the thing about being this wealthy, when you get to this, when you got money like that, you ain't gotta live. You just gotta get people to do it for you. So this Park family is so rich that they just hiring people to live life for them, and they pay them. It's nothing to them. And so the son of the Kim family gets hired by the Park family to be their babysitter or like tutor for their daughter or something. And he basically looks at all the so he's poor, by the way. Him and his family, his sister and his mom and his dad, they live in like the slums of like South Korea or something like that. And so by him getting hired by this rich family, he finds a way to basically make a job for each one of his family members. Like, he plugged them, and that's what you gotta do. Like, like, if I'm going, y'all coming with me, like, and so that's exactly what he did. The rich family, the Parks, they couldn't know at all that the Kim family, one, that they was a family, and that really they were leeching off of them, and that's where the parasite comes from. However, there's a bit of a twist in the movie, and the twist turns into another twist, and it keeps going. Like, it had me on the edge of my seat, and to be honest, it was more funny than it probably should have been. But I mean, like, I wanted to cry at some moments. I wanted to like run out the theater at some moments. I wanted to. The movie's just crazy, but like, I highly suggest it. At the end, it did get kind of deep, but I mean, like, just watch it again. It's on Hulu. When I watched it, it was in the theater, but hey, you can watch it 10 more times. I'm pretty sure it has subtitles. Yeah, so check it out. All right, guys, so that's basically it. I gave y'all 7 movies. I'm not saying these are the best movies in the world. I'm not saying these are the best movies ever on these platforms, but these are just the 7 that I enjoy. I think you guys would enjoy it, especially in this quarantine. Especially like a movie like Ex Machina. I'm pretty sure like they're like locked down somewhere too. Like, you could relate with that. And Parasite in its own way, you'll see. But I totally think you guys should check them out. Again, this is my first video, so I'm always ready for any kind of suggestions, any kind of ideas. I want y'all to give me ideas. I want y'all to help me through this. We trying to build something, but I need y'all to work with me. So please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, and anything I can improve on, any ideas you got, let me know in the comment section.